When Jesus established the church, it wasn't meant to be divided into denominations. It was meant to be a kingdom where all nations could come together under the reign of Jesus. Church was the meetings of that kingdom wherever it was located throughout the world. And so people from every nationality were becoming part of one nation. This was an effort to heal what had been initiated at the Tower of Babel, when nations were divided up by virtue of language and then cultures and their own personal agendas and their own personal needs. In Jesus, God was finally bringing an end to all of that division and all of the heartaches that go along with the divisions that have been made according to language. So it's somewhat distressing to me personally that Christianity as it's known in America today is thought of in terms of denominations. And at one time, the denominations were aligned around specific creeds and the beliefs of whatever group you wanted to be part of. Today, it's much more personal and a personal decision. People go to churches for a variety of reasons, and some of them have nothing to do with a belief system that's established by a certain creed, but more a personal preference that's based on the church and whether it can meet my needs and my place in life. Jesus, I think, would have been distressed by that because it undermines his effort to bring everybody together. And I know everybody says, well, we don't de-Christianize each other. We simply have our own personal preferences, and so we divide up into our groups in order to be with a group of people of like mind. But I think that undermines the nature of the church as it's meant to be. The church was meant to be one. It was meant to be the body of Christ working together, but now it's divided up into all these different interests and their groups, different agendas, and the churches don't really work together in order to achieve things that Jesus wanted to achieve in the world. Instead, it's looked on as, well, since Christianity doesn't really address the important pressing needs of now, and as long as it's addressing matters concerning the afterlife, then we can kind of work with it and let it go for the afterlife to sort out who was more right and who was more wrong, as though that made any difference at all. Christians were meant to come together. The church was established on the confession that Jesus is the Christ, the Son of the living God. Jesus is Lord. He is the one who has the right to rule over the world. He is the only one who can save the world from the mess that it's in. That's what it means to be a Christian. And that means that whatever nation I was born into is not the answer for what troubles the world. I have to make a conscious decision to become part of Jesus and his solution for what's gone wrong in the world. In an effort to do that, you have to read the Bible. That's what it's there for, is to help you learn how to make those decisions and make those pressing choices in a world where Jesus is seen as, a nice person, maybe even someone who would be, great because he's going to get you to heaven after you die, but Jesus is not meant for everyday life and the pressing needs that we have all around us on a day-to-day basis. I think that idea, that concept needs to be challenged. I think for Americans, who are so used to the government addressing everything and then Christianity being a sidelight for what happens to you after life and your morality and things like that, have sidelined Jesus, stifled the influence that God meant for him to have, and that denominations themselves undermine his great work of bringing all human beings together under one God. I hope that that'll address at least some of the things, because a lot of the things that have grown up in the church as a result of that have been the result of that assumption at its root. And that's an assumption we need to challenge. It is possible to be just a Christian, but it comes, of course, with a great price today. I hope that you'll join me, and we'll discuss this a little more in another video. My YouTube channel is Stifling Jesus. Please join us there, as we discuss how to unstifle Jesus' influence. Thank you.